Hey guys, it's Ashton, and today I am talking about my biggest trans regret. I enjoyed our coffee and chats video last time, so I thought if I talk about some deeper topics, clearly going to do this coffee thing, might have a different mug each time. So like everyone, I do have a few regrets that I've made during my transition, but the biggest one for me is not coming out sooner, not knowing I was trans sooner. Is something that I think about quite regularly because I think of all the things that could have happened and the things I could have done by transitioning earlier, and it just messes with my mind all the time. I came out as trans when I was 14 and then to everyone when I was 15, but I wish so badly that I did it earlier in my teens or like when I was like a child. I came out 6 months after I knew myself, and I feel like that was a good time period for me, as in realising, because I didn't want to just jump the gun and be like, look, I'm trans, then be like, no, I'm not trans. When I was 10, it was 2008. High School Musical was the prime of everybody's life. Everybody would come home and watch Disney Channel and play Mario Kart on their Wiis. In 2008, when I was 10, there were no trans representatives in the media. The first time I'd ever saw something about trans people was The Pregnant Man. And doesn't that just say it all? I remember watching it and not thinking anything of it, just because it was obviously talking about pregnancy, and I was like, what the hell is going on? I am 10, why am I watching this? And that was it. That is all I heard of my childhood of trans was that. And the only kind of terminology that anybody knew at that time was sex change. Are you having a sex change? Blah blah blah, someone's had a sex change. Even when like kids would say to me, oh, do you want a sex change? I'd just be like, what are you on about? Like, I didn't have a bloody clue. Like, I'd heard of people doing it, but I didn't feel educated enough to be like, oh my god, this is me. All you hear is the drips and drabs that society lets you know about there. But here we are in 2018, and the media has just gone so mental for trans people. Like, I was watching TV last night and I saw an advert for a trans documentary and I was like, yes, more representation. But this morning especially, they have trans guests on pretty much quite regularly, and I think that's really good to see. And I know if I was 10 and I saw something like that, then I feel like I would have realised it sooner. Like, not saying about the pregnant man who just happens to carry a kid. That had nothing to do with a 10-year-old. But more as if someone going on there and be like, oh yeah, I came out when I was this age, I felt like this, and then I would have connected with the way that person felt. Also, a really good documentary I watched was in for kids, and it was on CBBC, called I Am Leo, and it was about this trans kid. He was like 13 at the time, and he'd been living as a boy since he was quite young, and it talked about like being trans and like hormone blockers for like this hour documentary, and it was aimed at children. And I know, like, I watched CBBC so much when I was a kid, between that and Disney Channel, and I know for a fact that if I was 10 I would have watched that. And I feel like if I had watched that, then it would have opened up so many doors to me and made me realise so much. And yeah, I absolutely hate the fact that I didn't realise sooner. But in that retrospect, I know people who have come out a lot later than me, as in like people in their 40s. And they still have an amazing quality of life after they transition. But because I didn't come out till I was 14, I feel like I missed out on my boy childhood. All the things that could have been, but didn't happen. Even saying that, I had such a boyish childhood anyway. Like, I'd play with the boys, I'd play on the football team. I was the male role in like the school plays. I was like the Mad Hat and I was like Santa. More than my boy childhood, I missed out on the early years of my teenage life. Like, that was when I was battling the most with my gender, but I just didn't have a bloody clue that was going on. I wasn't subjected to any of this media. From the time I was like 11 till I was 14, I felt like I was in limbo. I felt like I didn't know what was going on with me. I was so isolated, I was so socially awkward. I just withdraw myself from any social situation. And I feel like by coming out as a child, like earlier than my teens, that I would have experienced the whole of my teenage years rather than the just last like 5 years of them. And what you notice with some trans people is that they kind of try and make up for the teenage years they missed. So you know when everybody has that awkward stage through puberty when you're like 12 and 13 and you just wear some wacky outfits, do some wacky things to your hair. That happens later on in life for us because we didn't have that like teenage years, that chance to experiment. I bleached my hair when I was in year 10 when I was 14. At that point you're like pretty solid on like your life hairstyle choices and like your clothing choices. But you didn't have a clue, and like the clothing I'd wear like novelty t-shirt, like Pac-Man t-shirts and like superhero ones, because that's what I would have wore earlier on, but I couldn't because I wasn't out as trans. I did wear boys' clothes all the time, and like the start of my teenage years, I'd have a lot more boys' clothes than girls' clothes. But I didn't steer too masculine. Like I would, like when I was around 12, 13, I wouldn't like buy men's shirts or like men's jeans. I'd wear women's jeans, women's shirts. I wasn't so bold with my like clothing choices, and as in like when I was a kid with the men's clothes. But I do feel like I missed out on a bit. When I say I wish I realised I was trans sooner and I wish I came out sooner, I also wish I came out to everybody a lot sooner than I did. I came out to everybody about 6 months after I told my parents, or a year after I knew I was trans. I kind of wish I had gone all guns blazing and just did it all at once. But at the time, it's a massive thing to do. I say that now because I've been living as male for like 5 years, but when I was 14, I was shit scared of transitioning. This is such a massive thing to do. I can't physically do this. And then I realised I had to do it. But at the end of the day, I can't change what's happened now. Yeah, I can think about all these situations that could have happened and all the trauma I might have not had to face. I'm a strong believer on that everything happens for a reason. I feel like I was given this path in life to help people. Once I transitioned, I didn't want anything to do with being trans anymore. That's what I always thought. But then as time went on and I helped people and I did this, and I just thought, this is not something I can just let go. This is a major part of my life and I can't just forget about it. But that's it for this video, and if you have any trans regrets that you'd like to share, just comment them down below. I'm getting blinded by the sun because it's just randomly come out. I swear it's just bugging my whole video up. But thanks guys, and I will see you next time. Peace.